Morris, CEO of Proctors, and I'm your host today for our Arts section. Our guest is Maude Baum, Artistic Executive Director of EBA in Albany. And you have been at this, Maude, for a long time.
Yes, this is our 40th anniversary.
And it's just spectacular. It's just spectacular.
It's a wonderful thing to do.
What brought you to what you do? Dance, kids, what brought you there?
I opened my first school when I was 15 because I was bored to death.
Where was that?
In Rensselaer, New York,
Yeah.
across the river.
Yeah.
My parents made me a little studio in their basement, and so all the kids in the neighborhood took dance with me.
I love it.
That's how I started the idea of you don't teach children dances, you teach them how to dance, so that whatever they want to do, dance will be a part of their life forever. So that was my basic philosophy then, and it's still the same basic philosophy. You don't teach steps, you teach the art form. And then they move on from there and do whatever they want with it.
And as I understand it, having never watched, I probably should have come, but as I understand it, many times you're integrating math or physics or other subjects into motion.
Well, our arts and education work is all curriculum based. So it's math, science, language, social studies, cultures. It's all based on that. You can make up a dance about anything. Think about it, you can. So we make up dances about everything the kids are studying. And you know, years later they'll come back and say, you know, I remember I was Venus when we were doing the solar system, and so was Mercury right next to me, and so was Earth. It's personal. They own it. It's their stuff. It's not stuff that they're reading out of a textbook that they somehow have to integrate into themselves. It's already there for them, and they're doing it. So arts and education is a very wonderful place for dance.
So after 15, after your basement studio, did you become a dancer yourself?
I did. Yep, I graduated from college in dance, and I got my master's in dance and related arts. And then Albany offered me a teaching position to head their dance program right here, so that brought me back from Texas. I was on my way to California.
Oh, down to Texas. Oh, well.
So came back, and they're actually on the books at SUNY Albany now. There's a dance major program. All they have to do is use it, although they're probably not going to.
And how long were you at Albany?
7 years. And then I started EBA.
Now, you've been on Lark Street for a long time, too.
Right. We bought the building in '77.
Second floor, big studio?
The whole thing. We own the whole building.
Yep.
Theater is an open space. It's 48 by 72, so it's a nice big space. Can be used in a variety of ways. And the downstairs studio is half that size, and we have a little art gallery, too.
And since '77, so what's it been like? You know, all of us in the arts world, you know, it's been an interesting ride for the last 40 years, right? So what's it been like for you?
Well, I think the art has continued. Where it started, it has continued, and that has held us in good stead. We integrate, when we do our performances, we integrate theater and dance and visual arts and spoken word, everything, music, everything into our work. So we're really a dance theater performance company. And I think that has held us in good stead. Initially, we were using the mainframe at RPI to create programs so we could do computer generated with live and all of that before there were any programs or anybody even had a PC, you know. So that kind of went by the wayside when you can go to the store and for $10 buy a program to do it. But we've still continued to integrate. So we might have video with, you know, live shot video with dance happening simultaneously, or we might, for example, I did a piece about Virginia Woolf, and the dancers actually speak her words while they're dancing. So it's really a nice combination of the arts. So that has held us all these years. What has changed is the audience, I think. I think the audience for the arts has diminished greatly since people had their own computers and could get movies on their own computer and all of that. I think that people don't understand that the arts are not going to be here if they don't come to the performances.
So would you view, and this is interesting because I think about this all the time too, would you view the computer as actually more of a challenge to live performance than television? Or just an added one?
Well, I think it's an added one. I mean, when everybody started getting nice big TVs and all of that, we saw a change there. And it took a while for people to realize that television is not live theater. You know, they're really missing something, and they got that. I think with the computer generation, they're not getting that. They think it's the same. They don't understand that they can't feel the breath and they can't feel the emotion coming from somebody on a flat screen.
So how do you sense this change? How do you feel it? Just looking at the audience and their age, or more than that?
Well, I think the numbers speak for themselves. I think the numbers have decreased significantly for the arts in general. Attending, not for promoting and supporting, but for attending, I think that they have dropped. That's my sense of it. I mean, we used to sell out every single concert we did at the theater, and now we don't.
And what's a sellout?
Oh, it's only 160.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah. So it's not like we're looking for a huge audience. But you know, you constantly have to recreate yourself for every new generation that comes along. And it's been very difficult to recreate ourselves in this computer-generated
How about the
world.
student side of it? Do you see less interest?
I don't see less
I would say
interest.
probably not.
No, I don't see less interest from students. The kids have been the same, you know, all the way along the line. Parents want their kids to dance or they don't. The adults, who our school is really predominantly for, we cater to students who want to have dance in their life but have no intention of being dancers. They simply want to come out one evening a week and dance, learn a dance, learn how to dance, participate with other people who want the same thing. And it's social, it's emotional, it's physical. It takes care of a lot of things for a lot of people. And that's really what the school is based on for adults, which is different.
So last weekend, and my daughter participated, you had a 40th anniversary fundraising
We
event.
did.
With a lot of dancing.
Yes, a lot of dancing.
Well, talk about it for a minute. It sounded like it was great.
It was a wonderful time. The evening was fabulous. We sold out that, of course. And we produce a cabaret, not the cabaret show, but a cabaret. So there's dancing and singing, and we have a community group, which Sophia participated in. Each year I gather together a really diverse group of people who want to dance but aren't dancers. And they come in for 8 weeks with boot camp with me on Sunday mornings.
Oh, wow, great.
And they get their bodies ready to do a performance, and they do. And this past weekend they did One Singular Sensation from Chorus Line with top hat and tails and everything. And they were fabulous. You know, they bring the house down every single year. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. It's great. Yeah, my daughter dances 2-3 nights a week. She just loves doing it.
She does, and she's good at it. She has a great deal of personality when she's dancing.
So what's the future of EBA?
Well, one of the things we want to do is sell our theater so that we can use that asset and put it back into programming, because the world has changed in terms of grants and where the money's coming from and everything. I mean, we have this big asset, and it's not in our mission to have a facility. It's in our mission to do programming. So our board of directors has thought that maybe now is the time to sell the building, and you know, we can perform anywhere. We can perform at Proctors, we can perform at the Egg. All of our arts and education is in schools anyways, so basically we can go anywhere and teach. All you need is an open space. So we don't have to have a facility to do our work. And we want to continue to do the work. We think that the work is incredibly important.
So that's quite contrary to most companies who are desperate to control space, because space, while it seems available everywhere, it's hard to schedule, be confident is correctly equipped and cleaned. I mean, all the usual things. So how do you imagining that? Since and I'm not disagreeing. I'm just, you know, it's just contrary to what the kind of control most organizations want.
Well, that control has a high price.
Yeah.
A very high price. And you just have to weigh things out, what it is you're trying to accomplish. It is nice to know that your facility is there when you want it, and you can control all of that, and you control what it looks like, what it feels like, yes. However, when we sent out to our supporters and people who know us that we were going to sell the building, within the first week I had offers from 8 different people to come and use their space. So I don't think that's going to be a problem for us. I think that, you know, our reputation speaks for itself, and people would love to have us there in their facility.
Well, that's very interesting. That's a very interesting leap, and a kind of gutsy one, actually.
Well, I think so too. I wake up at night going, oh, what? After being in that facility for so many years. And it's changed, you know, the walls just speak so much, because it's changed so many lives in so many ways, and people have come together and found their life mates there, and I mean, just all kinds of things have happened in that facility.
What was Lark Street like in '77?
Oh God, it was horrible. There were no sidewalks. There were no trees on our street, which is Hudson. It was very seedy. But you know, at that point in time, that's where the arts were moving to seedy neighborhoods, and we've become the anchor of Lark Street.
Oh, we still do. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We go where it's cheap.
We have to, right?
There's no option.
So, and then you make something, and you know, people are willing to come. Even then, I mean, we always sold out. We never had a concert that wasn't sold out. And you'd think that, you know, they wouldn't want to come to that neighborhood, they wouldn't want to do it. No. So anybody that says parking is a problem or anything else is a problem, that's just an excuse.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. You
if
just
you
got to
wanna come, you
eliminate the
go.
excuses so people don't
a lot of
make
it's
the
just
mistake of
perception.
being tripped over the excuses.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's
It
really
is.
hard.
It's absolutely true. You know, I think that if we were in a place with a parking lot, it would be very different. But it's street parking only, so.
Now, when you say this, you think the audience is smaller, and I'm not going to disagree with that either, but there is more going on in the Capital Region now
Much
than in
more.
77, right?
Yeah, we were pretty much the only game in town if you wanted to do original art. That was a combination.
Right, Ellen wasn't in existence,
No.
Sloppily Dance Company
No.
wasn't in existence.
There was
yeah.
no other dance company. And that's part of the reason that we started EBA, was because there wasn't an organization that we could be part of. You know, nobody wanted to do the kind of art that we wanted to do. So basically we had no choice but to start a group.
Can you talk about your original name, Electronic Body Arts?
I can. It was called, we had a long discussion about what we were going to call ourselves, because we had inventors and we had sculptors and we had dancers and we had theater people. I mean, it was just this conglomeration of people. And so we decided that because we were using computers, we would call it electronic, because electronic was the word that was used then, and body because we used our bodies, and arts because we used all of the other arts. So that's where electronic body arts came from. But then when people started calling us to see if we fixed their computers and, and did all of that, because, you know, arts was on the end of everything, automobile arts, everything had an arts on the end of it for a while. So we decided that it really just needed to go to EBA, and that would be how people remembered us.
Well, I have been in this business in the States since 77, and I've heard your name since 77. So you do great work, and thank you very much for joining us.
And you do
tonight.
great work, too.
Well,
Bless
thank you
you.
very much. That's Maude Baum, the Artistic Executive Director of EBA in Albany. Maybe not forever on Lark Street, but throughout the Capital Region. Maude, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Philip.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Proctors, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.